The rain tapped softly against the windows, a soothing rhythm that filled the otherwise quiet room. Camille stood by the fireplace, the golden light flickering over her delicate features. She wore a black silk slip that skimmed her thighs, her bare feet sinking into the plush rug beneath her. Her fingers curled around a glass of champagne, the bubbles rising in slow, lazy streams. Across the room, Adrien leaned against the doorway, his dark eyes fixed on her. He'd been invited to this dinner party on a whim, a chance encounter that had led him to this intimate moment. Camille was magnetic, her laughter infectious, her smile sharp enough to cut through his defenses. When the other guests had left, she'd asked him to stay. He hadn't hesitated. "You're awfully quiet," Camille said, her voice soft but teasing. She turned to face him fully, the silk shifting with her movements. "Second thoughts?" Adrien stepped closer, his lips curving into a slow smile. Not even for a second. The tension between them was electric, a silent pull that drew him to her. Camille set her glass down on the mantel, her gaze never leaving his. When he was close enough to touch, she reached out, her fingers brushing over the fabric of his shirt. "You're not like the others," she murmured, her voice laced with curiosity. Adrien chuckled, his hand finding her waist. "I'll take that as a compliment." Their faces were inches apart now, the air between them charged with anticipation. Camille tilted her head, her lips parting slightly as Adrien leaned in. The first kiss was soft, exploratory, but it quickly deepened. His hands slid down her back, pulling her closer as her fingers tangled in his hair. The champagne forgotten, they moved together, navigating the space between desire and restraint. Camille's slip slipped from her shoulders, pooling at her feet like liquid shadow. Adrien took a moment to drink in the sight of her, his breath catching as she stood before him, bare and unguarded. "You're stunning," he said, his voice rough with want. Camille's lips curved into a knowing smile. "Show me." He didn't need further encouragement. Adrien scooped her up in his arms, carrying her to the chaise lounge by the fire. The warmth of the flames painted their skin in hues of gold and amber as they lost themselves in each other. Camille's moans were soft and breathless, her nails leaving faint trails on his back as they moved together in perfect rhythm. The world outside faded away, leaving only the crackle of the fire and the whispered names they shared in the dark. Every touch, every kiss felt like a confession, a secret they'd keep locked away from the outside world. When it was over, they lay entwined, the fur throw draped loosely over their cooling bodies. Adrien traced lazy circles on Camille's shoulder, his mind swimming with the weight of the moment. She turned her head to look at him, her eyes soft but searching. "Do you regret it?" she asked. He shook his head, his fingers brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Not for a second." Camille smiled, her hand resting lightly on his chest. "Good, because neither do I." The rain outside had slowed to a gentle drizzle, a soothing backdrop to their shared silence. As the fire burned low, they drifted into a peaceful slumber, their secrets safe within the shadows of the night.